more dangerous without brakes, and uncomfortable.
You had one from OCC, right?
Oh, that's the biggest piece of junk. It's you know something? I was so stunned at how bad it was built.
Since the early 2000s, the roar of custom choppers has echoed worldwide. Everyone wanted a piece of the action, from eager indie makers crafting their dreams to seasoned riders hungry to conquer the open road. The surge was palpable, with the ranks of small custom chopper manufacturing swelling from a mere 47 to an astonishing 300 plus, as documented by the NADA book. Fueling the frenzy were television sensations like American Chopper, captivating audiences with a front row seat to the chopper craze of the 1990s and early 2000s. Orange County Choppers led the charge, renowned for their awe-inspiring creations and the gripping on-screen drama that unfolded with each build. Yet, as swiftly as they rose to prominence, choppers derailed from the hype train. Many factors, from shifting consumer tastes to economic shifts, led to declining demand for these once-coveted machines. For Orange County Choppers, the downturn hit hard, resulting in bankruptcy and a bittersweet relocation to Florida, where they settled on a smaller piece of land. One is forced to wonder why this happened. It's simple. Choppers were not even worth it in the first place. You heard right. They weren't worth the hype, especially those from OCC, and this video will show you why. First, we start with the technical reasons why you should never buy an Orange County chopper.
No odometer, no tripometer, no neutral safety switch, no speedometer. It doesn't tell you anything about the bike, which means this bike will forever be branded as True Mileage Unknown, or TMU, the worst of all brands.
According to Cirque Cycles, diving into the world of choppers isn't for the faint of heart, especially for beginners. Orange County Choppers, in particular, present a formidable challenge even to seasoned riders. While their sleek design may turn heads, the reality is that riding them can be a demanding experience. The extended wheelbase may give off an air of stability on the open road, but the rigid frame can quickly take its toll on the rider. Every bump and jolt reverberates throughout the bike, leaving the rider feeling the impact firsthand. And while the long front forks and angled handlebars may look cool, they require the rider to lean in just to reach the throttle, a physical demand that can quickly become tiresome. Riding an Orange County Chopper is a test of skill and endurance, not for the inexperienced. It's a machine that demands respect and mastery, a challenge that only the most dedicated riders dare to undertake. So, while they may be a sight to behold, it's important to remember that these choppers aren't just a fashion statement, they can hurt your back. Choppers were the epitome of exclusivity in their prime, with customization driving the price tag. But when it came to Orange County chopper builds, it was a whole different ballgame. Thanks to the TV show hype and the top shelf parts that went into each build, an OCC chopper was a coveted commodity, commanding a premium price. From fully built Harley-Davidson V-twin motors to custom gear cases and wheels, every component of an OCC build was meticulously selected and often custom made to fit each chopper's unique specifications and geometry. This level of craftsmanship didn't come cheap, with reports indicating that OCC builds could cost anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 when new, and even more for special theme builds auctioned off for charity. But getting your hands on an OCC chopper was no easy feat, especially during the show's heyday. Just ask Sean Kerr, the founder of Cirque Cycles and Bikes and Beards YouTube channel. Sean's nostalgia for the glory days of chopper culture led him on a quest to find an OCC build for himself. However, his search was met with disappointment, with only one Orange County chopper listed for sale at a hefty price of $14,000. Undeterred, Sean made an offer of $8,000 and left it at that. When it comes to tech, Orange County choppers are, well, a bit behind the curve. Don't expect to find fancy gadgets or digital displays on these mean machines. Odometers, neutral safety switches, and speedometers are often nowhere to be found, leaving riders in the dark about their mileage and speed. It's a wild ride where the true mileage is always a mystery. But that's not the only challenge riders face. Comfort takes a backseat on an OCC, quite literally. After just half an hour in the saddle, you'll long for some serious lumbar support. These bikes aren't built for leisurely cruises, they're built to make a statement, and comfort is sacrificed in the pursuit of style. And let's talk about fuel efficiency, or rather, the lack thereof. With small fuel tanks and thirsty engines, Orange County choppers guzzle gas like it's going out of style. Forget about stretching your fuel to the next town. Unless you're careful, you might find yourself stranded on the side of the road praying for a mobile signal to call for help. So, if you're planning a tour on an OCC or a similar bike, be sure to plan your route carefully and make frequent pit stops at gas stations. After all, when you're riding one of these beasts, it's not just about the destination, but the adventure along the way. You might think, who needs fancy tech anyway? I just want to ride to the grocery store and turn heads along the way. But riding an Orange County chopper isn't just about making a grand entrance. It's about braving the elements with nothing but raw power beneath you. And when it comes to comfort, let's just say you won't find it on an OCC. With no suspension to speak of, no shocks, no springs, nada, riding one of these bad boys can feel like a bone-rattling adventure, especially on bumpy roads. You might even consider extra padding for your nether regions just to cushion the blow. And comfort? Forget about it. These bikes are all about laid-back style, with riders stretched out like eagles in flight. But don't expect a leisurely cruise through the city streets. Orange County choppers were made for thundering down wide-open roads, not dodging traffic in busy city streets. But let's talk about craftsmanship. While the sight of an OCC build might leave jaws on the floor, some have criticized the attention to detail. Rumor has it that not all the welds on these custom motorcycles are up to snuff. Despite the talent in the workshop, deadlines and conflicts between Paul Tuttle Sr. and Jr. may have led to rushed work with less than perfect results. So this is where we now move on to more reasons why owning a chopper from the OCC can be a waste of time and money. As we said earlier, the Tuttles were always having problems with delivering on their word, and it cost them a lot. It cost them so much that there was always a controversy brewing in the corner. And remember Sean, who made a down deposit? Well, he did get it later. While the OCC chopper Sean purchased was originally valued at $80,000 when new, snagging it for a mere fraction of that price decades later might not seem like the wisest investment on paper. However, the equation starts to make sense when you factor in the rarity, prestige, and expected craftsmanship of an iconic OCC build. Sure, buying a vehicle for a fraction of its original value seems like a risky move, but when you consider the unique appeal and historical significance of an Orange County chopper, it's a different story altogether. These machines aren't just motorcycles. They're pieces of pop culture history with a value that transcends mere dollars and cents. That being said, not everyone who's had the chance to inspect an OCC build-up has been impressed. Rumors abound of subpar workmanship, with reports of blotchy welds marring the otherwise pristine surfaces of these custom motorcycles. Despite having master bike builders on staff, it seems that some of the work may have been rushed to meet tight deadlines. Hardly surprising given the well-documented conflicts between Paul Tuttle Sr. and Jr. The phenomenon of American choppers wasn't just a stroke of luck. It was the perfect storm of cultural shifts and media trends. Chopper motorcycles had evolved from symbols of rebellion to icons of niche pop culture, thanks in part to the 1969 film Easy Rider. From then on, the chopper craze only gained momentum, coinciding perfectly with the rise of reality TV. Choppers represented the epitome of freedom with their stretched out riding position and radical aesthetics. While cruisers were renowned for their comfort on the open road, choppers took things to the extreme, sacrificing some practicality for style. Riding cross-country like Easy Rider? No problem, but navigating city streets or dealing with traffic? Not exactly ideal. John Kerr's experience with his rigid rear OCC chopper paints a vivid picture of the challenges riders faced. With no rear suspension to absorb bumps, the burden falls squarely on the rider's spine. Add in worn brakes, trigger-happy rear brakes, and edgy styling elements like metal spikes, and it's a recipe for disaster. Even simple issues like vibrating mirrors and faulty wiring compound the frustrations. But perhaps the most surprising revelation was the performance, or lack thereof, of Sean's chopper. Running a stock Harley-Davidson Evolution V-twin engine, the bike put out a meager 62 horsepower and 73 pounds-feet of torque. Crunching the numbers, it became clear that each horsepower came at a hefty price, a stark reminder of the trade-offs inherent in owning an OCC custom. Terrible by all means, and damn expensive.